You're heading home after a long day. The heater's on, your favourite song is playing, and fat snowflakes drift lazily across the windshield. Everything feels normal, safe, routine. Then you see them, brake lights, hundreds of them, glowing red in the gathering dusk, stretching endlessly into the white distance. Traffic crawls, hesitates, stops. 20 minutes pass, then an hour. The sun drops below the horizon and takes the warmth with it. You glance at the fuel gauge and feel your stomach tighten. It's lower than you thought. In this moment, something fundamental has changed. You're no longer commuting. You're fighting for survival. And the enemies closing in around you are invisible, patient, and absolutely merciless. Every winter, thousands of drivers find themselves trapped exactly like this, caught in gridlock during blizzards and sudden storms. Most think they know the dangers. Cold, hunger, maybe running out of gas. But the real threats operate in silence, and by the time you recognize them, your ability to respond has already started to fade. History and survival science reveal a disturbing pattern. People don't die because they freeze slowly or run out of supplies. They die because they make small, invisible mistakes in the first few hours. Mistakes that feel logical, responsible, even comforting at the time. If you found value in what you just heard, do me a favor right now. Hit that like button, drop a comment telling me which survival scenario concerns you most, and subscribe to Survival Doctrine so you never miss critical information that could save your life. Share this with anyone who drives in winter weather. Now, let's get into the 6 killers waiting for you when traffic stops in the snow. The first threat doesn't announce itself. Carbon monoxide is colourless, odourless, and by the time you feel its effects, you're already losing. When gridlock hits and temperatures plunge, every instinct screams at you to run the engine and stay warm. That feels safe. That feels smart. But snow doesn't just fall around your vehicle. It builds walls. Drifts rise silently beneath the bumper and bury the tailpipe without you ever noticing. When that happens, exhaust gases have nowhere to go. Instead of flowing away behind the car, they creep underneath, then seep upward through floorboard seams and ventilation gaps you didn't know existed. Carbon monoxide doesn't burn your lungs or trigger panic. It hijacks your blood. CO molecules bind to red blood cells 200 times faster than oxygen, pushing life itself out of circulation. Your brain begins to starve quietly. The symptoms feel harmless at first. A dull headache, mild nausea, strange heaviness behind your eyes. It feels like fatigue. It feels like the flu. So people ignore it. That's why entire families have been found in stopped cars during winter storms, appearing to be peacefully asleep with no signs of struggle. The solution demands discipline, not debate. Treat your tailpipe like an airway. If snow is falling, you get out and check it. Clear it completely and dig a channel behind the vehicle so gases can escape freely. Follow the 10-minute rule. Run the engine and heater for only 10 minutes each hour. Then shut it down. While it runs, crack a window slightly on the side, away from the wind. Cold air is uncomfortable. Poisoned air is final. The second killer emerges from a voice inside your head, the urge to act, to help, to fix things. You see someone spinning their tires and think you should push. You grab a shovel and start clearing snow. It feels responsible. It feels heroic. And in sub-zero conditions, it can kill you. This is the wet-cold trap. Heavy winter clothing traps heat brilliantly, but when you overexert yourself pushing vehicles or shoveling snow, you sweat fast. That moisture soaks into your base layers, and here's the physics that ends lives. Water pulls heat away from your body 25 times faster than air does. The instant you stop moving, that damp layer turns against you. It chills, stiffens, and freezes. The armour built from your own sweat. Early Arctic explorers called this the suit of armour. Wool and cotton soaked with sweat would freeze solid overnight, forming an icy shell around the body that made survival nearly impossible. A damp shirt at 0 degrees doesn't just make you uncomfortable. It drains heat so aggressively that it can pull the life out of you in minutes. There's another danger most people ignore. Extreme cold constricts blood vessels and spikes blood pressure. Combine that with sudden intense exertion, and you create the perfect trigger for cardiac failure. Every winter, nearly 100 people die, not from blizzards, but from heart attacks brought on by shoveling snow. Survival here isn't about strength. It's about restraint. Being slightly cool and dry is infinitely safer than being warm and wet. If movement is absolutely necessary, you move with deliberation, slow, controlled, purposeful. You stop before you sweat. You treat every action as an investment, not a reaction. Hours have passed. Your mouth is dry and stress is grinding you down. Snow stretches in every direction outside your window. The thought comes quietly. I'll just eat some snow. That single decision has killed more people than hunger ever has. Snow is not water. It's frozen crystal, and your body cannot use it until it becomes liquid. To melt it, your core must supply the heat. That heat comes from the same reserves keeping your heart beating and your brain functioning. When you eat raw snow, you're stealing heat from yourself. Core temperature drops. Shivering intensifies. Hypothermia accelerates. You trade mild dehydration for systemic thermal collapse. The frozen crystal that steals your core heat. Indigenous Arctic cultures learned this thousands of years ago. They never ate raw snow. Instead, they melted it slowly using body heat. A small amount of liquid water went into a container, a little snow was added, and the vessel was worn inside clothing against the skin. The principle is simple and absolute. Melt first, drink second. Modern cars feel like sealed shelters. You step from a warm house, walk a few steps to a heated vehicle, then drive to another heated building. So you dress lightly. A thin jacket, stylish shoes, enough for the ride. But when the engine dies, the illusion collapses. Glass and metal don't hold heat. They bleed it. Once your heater shuts off, your car doesn't protect you. It accelerates heat loss. Your feet fail first. If you're wearing dress shoes or thin sneakers, frostbite can begin in under 30 minutes. Toes lose circulation, tissue freezes, and once your feet are compromised, walking to safety is no longer an option, even if help is close. You need layers ready before you need them. A wool blanket matters because wool insulates even when wet. Heavy winter boots matter because circulation in your feet determines whether you can move, react, or escape. You put the boots on the moment traffic stops, not later, not when you feel cold, because once your fingers go numb, laces become impossible. Hypothermia begins when core body temperature drops below 95 degrees. In a stalled vehicle, the process accelerates fast. At first, your body resists through violent, uncontrollable shivering. But shivering burns energy quickly, and as reserves drop, the nervous system slows. Fingers lose precision. Speech thickens. Thoughts fracture. This is where hypothermia turns lethal. Anxiety overloads the brain. Simple tasks suddenly feel impossibly complex. Judgment collapses. People stop making decisions not because they don't care, but because the brain can no longer sequence action. The final stage is most disturbing. As temperature regulation fails, blood vessels dilate and victims feel overheated, leading to paradoxical undressing. Many are found partially unclothed, having unknowingly accelerated their own death. Deep diaphragmatic breathing and isometric muscle tension generate heat internally without sweat. It keeps blood flowing and the nervous system awake. Hypothermia kills by confusion, so you must stay mentally engaged. The final killer comes late, maybe 8 or 9 hours in. The fuel is gone, the car is silent, and fear sharpens. Then you see a faint light flickering in the white distance and think, I can walk to that. That thought has ended more lives than storms ever did. In heavy snow, depth perception collapses. That light might be 1/2 mile or 5 miles away. The moment you step out, you abandon the only shelter you have. If whiteout hits, visibility drops to 0. The car disappears behind you. Without visual anchors, you drift, curve, walk in circles until exhaustion wins. The rule is absolute. Stay with the vehicle. A car is shelter, visibility, a massive reflective object rescuers can find far more easily than a human body buried in snow. Subscribe to Survival Doctrine right now. Share this with everyone you know who drives in winter. Your preparation today could be the difference between survival and tragedy tomorrow. Before you go, remember, knowledge is your greatest protection. If you found this video helpful, hit that subscribe button and join the Survival Doctrine community. Every week we share life-saving tips and real-world strategies to keep you and your loved ones safe. Click subscribe now. See the animation on your screen. That's your invitation to stay prepared and stay connected. Don't miss out. Stay safe, stay smart, and we'll see you in the next video.